Who do you think is the greatest of the fighters?
There's a lot of arguments for who's the greatest of all time.
It started with a question from Donald Trump. Joe, who's the greatest fighter of all time? Rogan paused, then dropped names that shaped the very foundation of the UFC.
UFC is 5-minute rounds. It's so much energy you're burning out.
Jon Jones, he began.
You know, Jon Jones, most people would say is the greatest of all time, never lost.
Most people would say he's the greatest of all time, never lost. There's a good argument for that. And how could there not be? Jones ran through legends. DC, Machida, Rampage, Glover, all left in the wake of a man who fought like he was born in the cage. But Joe didn't stop there. There's another argument for George St-Pierre.
There's another argument for George St-Pierre.
He said, a 2-division champ, a tactician, a fighter who came back after 4 years to reclaim gold.
I always leave in BJ Penn in his prime.
I always leave in BJ Penn in his prime, Joe added, because when BJ was at his peak, he wasn't just winning, he was levitating. Fearless, technical, a prodigy with 0 quit. And then came the mention, no list is complete without Anderson Silva in his prime. The Spider.
Anderson Silva in his prime. You know,
who made top contenders look like extras, who taunted, danced, and dismantled with style that felt alien. Then there's power. Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar! Excuse me! Brock Lesnar!
Brock was so fucking big, Joe laughed. His wrestling was so good. When that guy shot a power double, it was like getting hit by a bus. And then there's discipline. Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Khabib? What about
Khabib's fantastic.
Still undefeated, still untouched. When Khabib was hitting Conor saying, let's talk now, man, Rogan recalled, that was wild. But that wasn't all Joe had to say about Khabib.
Khabib retired 29-0, but he didn't have as
and
many
probably
world
never
championship
lost a
fights.
round.
Yeah, he's on another level. That guy is supremely disciplined. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't fuck around. Always in shape, always training, very devout Muslim. No partying, no coke, no banging hoes, just smashing people. Then there's the Dagestani phenom the world didn't get enough of, Zabit Magomedsharipov. He's from Dagestan, trained with bears, but tall and skinny. He fought Kyle Bochniak, who's a fucking savage. Bochniak was getting his ass kicked the whole fight, but never stopped coming. And at the buzzer, they hugged. And I'm telling you, not one person in the Barclays Center was sitting down.
Man, look at the timing on that. Caught him coming in.
Everybody stood up and went crazy. And speaking of greatness in motion, Israel Adesanya. The way he responded to that loss, better than anybody ever, Rogan said. Shows up to the press conference with a fucking fur coat like a king. Says,
what a life, what a moment. Fucking crazy, isn't it? Like, similar to the last time, same story.
He got me. The hunter is now the hunted. I'm coming after him. Then there's the new breed, Ilia Topuria. Ilia's one of the absolute best fighters in the world, Joe said. And one of the things that's phenomenal about him is perfect. There's like no fat in his technique, there's no weighted movement. So when an opportunity presents itself, everything is so fast because the technique is so streamlined. But like, look at how he hits the pads, and when you watch how he hits the pads, and Mayweather is a great example of that. And finally, Islam Makhachev. When Charles Oliveira pulled out of UFC 294, Islam didn't blink. With just 11 days notice, he took on Alexander Volkanovski again and knocked him out cold. That doesn't happen in boxing, Rogan said, ever. That's how good these guys are. So now the question's yours. Is Jon Jones still the undisputed GOAT? Or does Khabib's perfect legacy say more? Is Zabit the Dagestani legend we never got to fully see? Is Ilia already knocking on the doors of greatness? And is Adesanya the most mentally unshakable fighter in the game? Let us know in the comments, because Joe Rogan's not handing out praise lightly.